то, что вы и так все понимаете.
हमारे इतने रिश्ते हैं कि मुझे ऐसा लगा कि आपको कोई अनुवाद नहीं चाहिए.
ब्रिक्स देशों के बीच फाइनेंशियल इंटीग्रेशन
Mr. Prime Minister,
सीमा पार पिछले 4 वर्षों में उत्पन्न हुए मुद्दों पर बनी सहमति का हम स्वागत करते हैं.
It's probably the handshake of the decade. 2 nuclear-armed neighbors, 2 rising economies and 2 population giants. It doesn't get bigger than this. We can put all the speculation to rest now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met President Xi Jinping. Not for a casual pull aside, not some informal meeting at dinner. This was an official bilateral talk, their first in nearly 5 years. Modi and Xi first shook hands for the cameras. As you can see, the Prime Minister had a characteristic smile, and Xi Jinping, as unreadable as always. Both of them appeared to exchange some pleasantries. After that, it was time for talks. Modi and Xi had their delegations with them. You may recognize some of these faces. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar was seated next to Prime Minister Modi. You can also see his National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Now, Xi Jinping was the first to speak. He talked about improving communication, handling differences, and setting an example for the world. Listen in.
China and India are both ancient civilizations, major developing countries, and important members of the Global South. We are both at a crucial phase in our respective modernization endeavors. It best serves the fundamental interests of our 2 countries and 2 peoples, for both sides to keep to the trend of history and the right direction of our bilateral relations. It's important for both sides to have more communication and cooperation, properly handle our differences and disagreements, and to facilitate each other's pursuit of development aspirations.
I'll tell you what's strange. This meeting was possible because of a border deal. It was announced by India on Monday. It allows both sides to disengage and resume patrolling. But Xi Jinping did not even mention that in his opening remarks. He just spoke broadly about communication and differences. Prime Minister Modi, though, did talk about it. He first welcomed the border deal between India and China. He then listed out his expectations from the relationship: mutual trust, mutual respect, and mutual sensitivity.
हमारा मानना है कि भारत और चीन के संबंधों का महत्व केवल हमारे लोगों के लिए ही नहीं, लेकिन वैश्विक शांति, स्थिरता और प्रगति के लिए भी हमारे संबंध बहुत अहम है. एक्सेलेंसी, सीमा पार पिछले 4 वर्षों में उत्पन्न हुए मुद्दों पर बनी सहमति का हम स्वागत करते हैं. सीमा पर शांति और स्थिरता बनाए रखना हमारी प्राथमिकता रहनी चाहिए. म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट, म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट और म्यूचुअल सेंसिटिविटी हमारे संबंधों का आधार बने रहना चाहिए.
Now, let's be clear, these pictures are historic. So is the location of this meeting. Russia, a country that shares excellent ties with both India and China. It will only add to the speculation around Russia's role. Did Putin bring Modi and Xi together? They looked pretty cozy at the dinner yesterday, but officially there is no word on Russian mediation. Either way, just think about everything that has happened in the last 5 years. A deadly clash at the Galwan Valley. Soldiers killed on both sides, massive troop mobilization, India's embrace of the US in the West, China's refusal to disengage, even bans on TikTok and Chinese 5G. It seemed like this relationship was heading to rock bottom. But diplomacy appears to have pulled it back, at least for the time being. Modi and Xi clearly do not want an escalation. They see more benefits in cooperating. But the question is how? How do you start working with your chief rival? In today's meeting, we saw some common ground. Xi Jinping talked about using this relationship to achieve development goals, basically to better the lives of ordinary people. He also talked about an international responsibility that India and China must set an example for the world. You just heard Prime Minister Modi's remarks. He also spoke along the same lines. He said this relationship is key for global security and progress. So there is clear agreement on one thing. A stable India-China relationship is a global good. It's a good start, but it's not nearly enough. India has shown its willingness to cooperate, to invest in this relationship, but China has not responded in kind. We saw evidence of that in the 2020 Galwan clashes. So the key thing is trust. Can India trust China to hold its end of the bargain? Well, this border deal is a good test of that. Let's see if China disengages and de-escalates at the border. Now, I know everyone is talking about the meeting, but that was not the purpose of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Russia. It was clearly the highlight of the day, a subplot that is more interesting than the movie itself. But the movie is still about BRICS. Today was the 16th summit of this new look group. It started off with 4 members. It now has 10 members. The OG gang is part of the acronym Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. That's BRICS. The newbies are Iran, the UAE, Egypt, Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia. Many more have lined up to join. Today we had 2 sessions in the Russian city of Kazan. One was the open session, the other was behind closed doors. Prime Minister Modi addressed both these sessions. He very clearly spelled out his vision for BRICS. I know we've had some questions about what India wants from this bloc. Well, Prime Minister Modi answered those questions. First of all, is BRICS an anti-West bloc? Listen to what the Indian Prime Minister said, and I'm quoting, "We have to give the world the message that BRICS is not a divisive organization, but one that works in the interest of humanity. We must be careful to ensure that this organization does not acquire the image of one that is trying to replace global institutions, instead of being perceived as one that wishes to reform them." In other words, do not use the BRICS summit or the BRICS grouping to target the West or to demolish the world order. Use it to reform the world order. That's a very comprehensive clarification. Secondly, is India okay with expanding BRICS? Again, listen to what he said. India is ready to welcome new countries into BRICS as partner countries. In this regard, all decisions should be taken by consensus and the views of BRICS founding members should be respected. The guiding principles, standards, criteria and procedures adopted during the Johannesburg summit should be complied with by all members and partner countries. Again, let me translate that into simpler words. We welcome new members, but we have red lines. For example, India did not block the entry of Iran or Saudi Arabia. But reports say Pakistan is keen to join BRICS. And if that's the case, New Delhi may put its foot down. So all in all, the Prime Minister had a successful summit in Russia. He reaffirmed his commitment to BRICS, drew very clear red lines and highlighted the strengths of this bloc. Of course, years down the line, no one will remember any of this. What they will remember is the Modi-Xi handshake.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.